If your goal is to add weight, depth, and believability to your drawings, it's imperative to have an understanding of how perspective works. Perspective allows us to create bold, immersive, and dynamic scenes that immediately entrench your viewers into the story. When you understand perspective, you can draw literally anything you can imagine. But to truly unlock this skill, you need a solid handle on 2D shapes, 3D shapes, and the perspective grid. We're going to look at how 2D shapes like circles, squares, and triangles become 3D shapes, such as cubes, spheres, and pyramids, once perspective is applied. To do this, we'll use a specific tool called a perspective grid, and the cool part is we can draw this grid ourselves with just a ruler and a pencil. Or, if you're drawing digitally like I am here, you can use the straight lines tool and it practically does all the work for you. This grid is a useful tool for drawing things accurately. It's made of both parallel and intersecting lines that converge at one single point. This little dot back here called the vanishing point. The vanishing point is a point at which things begin to disappear or become unobservable. Just like in reality, when you're standing out on the beach looking over the horizon to the farthest point you can see in the distance before everything disappears. And speaking of horizons, that brings us to the next part of the grid, the horizon line. The horizon line represents our eye level, and it divides the viewing plane between the top and the bottom. This means that anything placed above or below the horizon line will appear as if it is above or below our eye level. Simple, right? Awesome. So now that we're acquainted with the grid, let's get into drawing some 3D forms. When you combine a series of 2D shapes, you get a 3D form. This cube is made up of 6 individual 2D squares. And if we look at some of the individual lines of these squares, we can see that some of them are headed towards the vanishing point, where they will inevitably converge, while other lines headed in other directions are running parallel to one another, on paths that will never converge no matter how far out they go. With that knowledge in mind, we can use these lines as guides to help us construct our 3D forms and the surrounding environment. We'll start with a simple flat square shape. To turn this square into a cube, we need to add 5 more sides to it, but those extra sides need to be drawn in perspective if we want that 3D effect. If we follow the perspective lines back to the vanishing point, that will indicate which direction we need to draw in. We'll start here then, and extend lines out to meet each of these corners. This will give us the top and bottom of the next square. Then we'll drop a vertical line to complete the shape and erase the extra lines. And voila! There's the second side of our cube. Next, let's draw in the top. Connect a line from the vanishing point to the corner and then just close the shape with a horizontal line, following the direction of the parallel lines. Now we have 3 visible sides of our cube. Now the other sides would not be visible to us from this angle, but we can draw them in anyway, to fully wrap our brain around this concept. I'll draw them in behind the other lines, and I'll use dashed or dotted lines to indicate that they are behind or transparent. Okay, let's do another one. This one we'll draw above the horizon line, which means we'll be able to see the bottom of the cube, and from our perspective, it'll look like it's floating in space. We'll also use red lines for all the parallel lines and blue lines for any lines aimed at the vanishing point. Taking note of these small differences will start to familiarize your brain with how shapes behave in perspective. And eventually, with a bit of practice, you'll be able to draw in perspective without relying on the grid. Phenomenal. Let's do one more example. This time we'll draw a cube that stretches both above and below the horizon line. This means that the top half and the bottom half will follow different paths back to the same vanishing point. And now notice how the lines below the horizon line are aimed upward at the vanishing point in contrast to the ones above, which are pointed downward. But what about other shapes, like the triangle and the sphere? How do we draw those in perspective? Well, that's pretty easy. See, all of these shapes fit neatly inside one another, and if you know how to draw one, you can draw them all. For instance, if you need to draw a circle, you can easily just carve one out of the corners of a square. And rotating a flat circle in perspective just gets you an increasingly more narrow oval shape, something that we call an ellipse, which is just the generic name for a circle rotated in perspective. Now, as far as turning a circle into a sphere, that'll be a topic for another video, because the only real way to convey a spherical form is to establish a light source and then use shading. But we'll get to that in a future lesson. Here's some quick and easy practice exercises that you can do to wrap your brain around triangles, pyramids, and ellipses. Now, so far we've been drawing in 1-point perspective, which is the simplest kind of perspective. But there are multiple types of perspective: 2-point, 3-point, 4-point, and even 5-point. But for the sake of this video, we'll stick with levels 1 through 3, as those are by far the most commonly used. In 1-point perspective, we have one singular vanishing point that can be placed anywhere along the horizon line. This kind of perspective is simple and straightforward. It works well with scenes that are focused on a single subject or direction, like a stretching hallway or a city street. 2-point perspective introduces a second vanishing point, and because of this, we get a more dynamic view of the subject. This perspective works great for landscapes, character spreads, big scenes. It's by far the most commonly used type of perspective. Now this is the big boss. 3-point perspective is great for adding high-stakes drama to a scene or depicting people or places in a way that makes them feel larger than life. In terms of difficulty though, this is by far the most challenging. With the addition of a third vanishing point, we can say goodbye to all parallel lines. And this is because unlike points 1 and points 2, this new vanishing point will either be placed far above or far below our horizon line. And that means our up and down perspectives will start to narrow due to now sharing a vanishing point. Yeah, with this view, things can get intense fast. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And if you found this helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I post new videos every week, and I'll be talking more about manga, comics, character design, and a whole lot more. Until next time.